Today's show is sponsored by cryptocurrency, something I've had explained to me no less than 96 times and still have not the slightest clue of what it is. People reference Bitcoin to me, but have you ever bit a coin? Because I have, and now I have my dentist on retainer. Not to be confused with the retainer he made for me when I was a kid. Anyway, for more information, please go to www. I thought adding the prefix crypto onto something made it way cool, like cryptozoology, which is the study of awesome monsters like Sasquatch and a dog.com. One more time, that's www. I'm going to keep using ridiculous, silly, made-up sponsors until I can eventually get real ones, maybe-ish, hopefully. .com. Hello. Welcome back, everybody. And if you're a first-time listener, welcome back, everybody. Maybe you listened to me in a previous life or something and you don't know it, so I don't ever want to assume, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, thank you for choosing to listen to Several Stories High yet again or for the first time. I'm glad you're here and I'm excited to share another story with you. Now, I'm not sure when you're listening to this, but at the time of recording, it is a few days past a little holiday I like to call 4th of July. Maybe you've heard of it. You know, carving pumpkins, caroling, eating turkey and stuffing and pumpkin pie with family, celebrating the president's birthdays. All the stuff you do on 4th of July. And speaking of 4th of July, I have a room full of fireworks over here. And I never got to light them off, and I'm still getting over it. Still healing, so give me some time, please. And these fireworks were so bad because they have a little warning label that says, warning, may ignite without fire. So that's probably why I didn't have to pay anything for them, and the company actually paid me over $8 to take them. I don't want to brag, but that's a pretty good amount of money, depending on who you ask and what year it is. I am looking forward greatly to our story today, which deals with the subject of camp. Now, I don't know what age range everybody falls into. I'm assuming it's not the Ice Age. That'd be terrible. Terrible age, great movie. When I was as the kids call, a kid. What? Hold on one second. Hey, Francis. Hey, what's up with the drum hit? That wasn't really even a joke.
I'm sorry. I just thought it was a joke and it was real funny. And I can play the drums and the drums. Hey, the drums. I want 2 drums.
Okay, well, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I don't know. I'm not really. This is a podcast that's got funny stuff in it, but I don't want it to be like a old time vaudeville thing. I mean, maybe it could be that, but I don't know. I'm not really. This isn't really a drum hit comedy kind of rim shot thing. But you do you, and you keep having fun, and just tell me if the fireworks ignite. Just tell me that. Sorry about that, folks. That is imaginary friend Francis. Not my imaginary friend. Actually, Francis is an imaginary friend of an imaginary friend, Lewis, of mine. So I don't know Francis very well directly, but it's sort of a friend thing. And, you know, Francis is new in town, and I don't know. Didn't want to be impolite, you know, especially when we're celebrating, you know, America's birthday and the American dream and all that stuff. So, play on, Francis. Play on. Let's get to our story. As one of my friends at work, who shall remain nameless, says, his measure of a good story is, he's from Brooklyn, so he sounds like this. do all the characters gotta have a good backstory? If the characters got a good backstory, then it's a good story. And the characters and the good backstory. So I really appreciate his input on that, because anytime I write a story now, it's like, hey, what does person X that I work with think of their backstory? So thank you. Let's just call him Omar, because that's his name. What do you guys think of when I say camp? Ow. You can answer me, okay? It's not like it's a one-way thing where it's just me talking into a microphone and you're listening. Okay. I'll give you some time. Well, I grew up in the mid to late 90s, which I'm sure other people did. 1990s, in case you were confused. Not the 1890s. There was a lot of things in the 90s that I'm not proud of. A la skate parties, a la Barney, other things. But one thing I really enjoyed was camp. And I'm sure they still have camp somewhere. And if you guys have a particular camp story, or, I don't know, a good one, bad one, good experience, bad experience, why don't you send me a message on the Facebook or the Twitter or the email on the website or whatever. Let me know what your experience with camp is. I had a great time. We went to several ones in Tennessee, and we did all sorts of stuff. Paintball, ropes course, paintball, and then a couple times we did paintball a few times. And actually, I think it wasn't a camp. It was just a big paintball field that, come to think of it, I don't think we were even supposed to stay overnight. But I hope you enjoy this story. And what is that sound? What's that smell? Do you guys smell that? Can you smell that through your ears? It smells like smoke. What? Oh. Francis, what's... Oh my God. Francis! How did they light? Did you light them?
No, I didn't light them. I didn't light them.
Oh my... Oh, Okay, everybody, this room is about to erupt in a fiery blaze of fireworks that I was warned about, but still kept in my room. So, before everything blows up, you're listening to Nathaniel David Knox. My name is Several Stories High, and this story is called Camp Camp. Shout it again. Welcome to Several Stories High, a narrative podcast featuring original stories from all corners of the spectrum: fiction, fact, or perhaps more appropriately, somewhere in the great galaxies between. I'm Nathaniel David Knox. Let's see how high we can climb. Penny nudged the dormant, wrinkled outline of her son, who lay somewhere deep inside a late-night pizza coma, buried beneath a blanketed range of first-day-of-summer Alps, topped with cowboy design comforters and scantily clad pillows. Jonathan? John, wake up. Come on, time to get up. Boy, don't make me pinch you on your first Saturday of freedom now. With the precision of a dead-eye surgeon, Penny reached into the swirly abyss of mangled sheets and pulverized pillows and live chickens and pinched the sleepy belly of her son. Ouch! What'd I say? Okay, Jonathan said, removing the covers from his face and peeling away the dried seaweed from his neck and ears and squinting at the sunlight beaming through the window. Yes, Mom. Look, Penny said, scrubbing her boy's face clean of pepperoni bits with sandpaper. I know it's summer break and all, and I know you want to sleep in and relax and have fun with your friends, but first you need to tell me which camp you want to go to this year. You know your sister's already gone for fencing camp. Lord, I pray it's chain link this year. Anyway, look, the spots are filling up real fast for all the good camps. And if you don't decide now, you'll go to the same place you went last year for 6 long weeks. No, Mom, please. I can't do it again. I don't wanna. Well, if you don't want to go to drum camp again this year, I suggest you pick something you like. It wasn't just drum camp, Mom. It was oil drum camp. It was awful. They didn't even teach us a single beat or anything. But I bet you see why we need clean energy now, huh? I guess. So what's gonna be, child? Clock's ticking. Why is it ticking anyhow? It's a digital, I thought. Jonathan rubbed his eyes and looked around his hazy room. And once the fog machine went into sleep mode, he surveyed all the posters along the walls and on the slanted ceiling above, too. Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Enya, Christopher Columbus the explorer, and Christopher Columbus the director, and Hanson, not the band, Chris Hansen from Dateline. They all looked back from their paper portraits. Then Jonathan looked down the other walls at the other heroes of his other passions and loves. Ninja Turtles, and ninjas, and turtles, separately framed too. Autographed pictures of rare paper clips, and breathtaking shots of fluorescent light bulbs from National Office Supplies Illustrated Monthly, and even a mint condition first edition print of a slice of cheese. Then Jonathan moaned in warring thought. You know you've still got some options, son, Penny said, a fondness in her eye, her left eye. I know. Well, which camp do you want to go to this summer? You, Jonathan. I want you to choose based only on what interests you, not what you think me or society or the IRS expects you to choose. What about basketball camp? Penny said. Boy, I'll say it like I always do. You have one heck of a jump shot. And I'm not just saying that. I'm thinking it too. And you know you got that golden shot from your grandfather Willie. Rest his soul. Grandfather Willie's dead? No, he's up on the 3rd floor resting. Needs his 20 hours or he gets real cranky. Anyway, son, you know in his prime he could sink a nothing but net with a jumbo beach ball? Skips a generation though. Penny sighed. I can't even look at a basketball without breaking out into hives or the Charleston. But I think if I watched that Space Jam movie you love so much enough, then maybe one day Mom? Huh? Oh, I'm sorry, honey. What were you saying? I don't want to go to basketball camp. Well, all right. What then? She said, rifling through a bunch of wrinkled summer camp brochures, first making sure the safety was on, of course. Baseball camp? Stand-up comedy camp? Early American Explorers camp? I know that's where Miss Mona's sending little Anthony this year. Boy loves his Charlemagne. No, not any of those. Sanitation Services camp? No. Interpretive math camp? Nuh-uh. Extremely graphic design camp? No, Mom. Then what? Camp. Excuse me? You know, camp. Up in the mountains. My friend Lactose Mo's grandma works there. She cooks the food and stuff. Penny replied. And what did they teach 12-year-olds at this camp? Camping. So it's not just a clever name. Not that clever. Why do you want to learn about camping so bad, son? I don't know. I just heard kids talking about it at school sometimes. They brag about how their dads take them hiking and fishing and how they make campfires at night and tell ghost stories and roast marshmallows and learn how to hang a decent set of blinds without breaking anything and stuff. And I guess I just always wanted to try it. And with Dad being out of town for work a lot, you know. I know. We've talked about that. Told him he's on the road way too much for someone who's self-employed and works from home. So you really want to learn, huh? Yeah, yes ma'am, I do. Okay, said Penny, slapping her knees and rising from the bed. Then I'll teach you. Pack your bags, child. We're gonna go on a little mother-son adventure in the backyard. Start this summer off right. Jonathan smiled wide and leapt out of bed, and he couldn't pack his sleeping bag and flashlight and toothbrush and pillows fast enough. So his mom helped. By the time the two were outside by the garage, fastening 2 fishing poles to the huge bundle that held in the tent and everything else, Jonathan frowned and spoke. Mom? Do you even know how to camp and fish and stuff? Well, of course Penny paused for several hours, and her mouth stayed open and her thoughts raced. By sunset, Jonathan was still against the old garage door, still respectfully and dutifully waiting for his mother's reply. What was the question again, sweetie? She finally said. Do you even know how to camp and stuff? No, Jonathan, I don't. But, she said, causing a flock of owls to flutter away from the trees, I can learn. We can learn. Together. Now, where's the number for that camp? Gotta be on the brochure somewhere, she finished, fishing through her purse with one of the poles from the bundle. You don't have a brochure for camp, Mom. It was my idea, remember? Oh yeah, I forgot. It's okay. I can call him tomorrow. Got the number in my room. First thing in the morning. By the way, Mom, I'm old enough to make phone calls on my own now, I think. Well, look at my little man growing up. Yeah. The two hugged and made their way back towards the house. Oh, Jonathan? Ma'am? Be sure to ask him if there's an age limit at camp. You know, in case I don't make the cut. Yes, ma'am. And if there is, just tell him I'm a couple years below whatever they say the limit is. It'll be our little secret. Just this once. You know I don't tolerate fibs in our house. Shoot, tell him I can help out as a counselor or chaperone or a bus mechanic if they need it. I ever tell you I hold not 1 but 2 degrees in marketing and telemarketing? Mom, I love you and all, but I have no idea what you're talking about. I know, sweet boy. I love you too, and I appreciate your honesty. Penny winked and Jonathan nodded, and they both laughed before heading back inside for the night. This episode of Several Stories High was written, composed, and produced by me, Nathaniel David Knox. Thank you for listening. You can learn more about me and the show over at severalstorieshigh.com. And if you have a chance, please consider leaving a review on Apple Podcasts. It really makes a difference. After all, was it not Marie Antoinette that said, "Let them eat cake, as long as they keep the apples for the podcast, and the reviews that must follow too." Well, actually, according to Wikipedia, the most trusted source in the nation, no, she didn't say that at all. But anyway, I hope you see the heart behind what I'm saying. And it's this. Reviews make a lot of difference in the Apple Podcast community, but I understand that not everybody uses Apple Podcasts exclusively, so I'm very happy to say that we are also available on Stitcher and Radio Public, Spotify, RSS feed, TuneIn, or wherever you get your podcasts. I happen to get some of my favorite podcasts down the road at a little thrift shop, just to get some secondhand stuff, wherever you get your podcasts. And lastly, remember to keep up with the show on Facebook and Twitter. That's at SSHpod, or Shpod if you prefer. Just remember there's 2 S's. Until next time, I'm Nathaniel David Knox, and thanks for listening.